Hey, Pretty Girl Club, have you ever noticed that the black community doesn't like black features? And I've noticed that they will project this onto mixed race women. Have you ever noticed that if you are mixed race or if you have a lighter complexion, if you have any African features at all, I've noticed that unambiguous black women and men will actually make fun of them and they will say that you're ugly or they will call you mediocre. But then when you ask them what makes you mediocre, they're going to go silent because they don't want to admit that they don't like to see their nose on you. They don't like to see their lips on you. They don't like to see their jaw structure on your face. And so, because they don't like those features on themselves, they want to project that onto mixed race women. And I've noticed that whenever they see a mixed or a lighter skinned woman who has African features and she's confident in that and she thinks that she's cute, then people will say things like, you're not that pretty, or you're not pretty enough to be talking shit, or you're mediocre, or there are so many other women who look better than you. And people are doing that as a humbling tactic. One thing that a lot of black women won't admit is that they do not like their own facial features. And I know this because whenever they are trying to humble a lighter skinned or mixed woman, they will use her black features against her. They will say things like, well, your hair is still nappy, or you're going to have a dark baby as karma. Or let's say the woman is a dark skinned mixed woman. They'll say, well, you're still dark skinned, as if being dark skinned is bad or takes away from her beauty. And a lot of unambiguous black women won't admit that they prefer keen features. When I say keen features, I mean having a slimmer nose and having maybe smaller lips and a smaller jaw structure. When I use the term slim nose, I'm talking about a nose where the width of your nose is slimmer than your lips. So I've noticed that anytime a mixed or lighter skinned woman has a nose that is about the same width as her lips, or maybe it's about 2/3 of the width of her lips, then suddenly she becomes ugly, she becomes not that cute. And I've also noticed people will say you're not that light skinned if you have those features. But I've noticed in reality what people mean when they say you're not that light skinned, what they really mean is you don't look white. Or when they say you don't look mixed, I've noticed what they really mean is you don't look white or you don't look half white. So I've noticed that there's all of this projection and all of these inferiority complexes that unambiguous black women try to use as humbling tactics against mixed race or lighter skinned women. They want you to have the same insecurities about your nose and lips that they have. And the reason they're doing that is because they are jealous of the pretty privilege and the status that you have in society. They're upset about the fact that you were able to still view yourself as beautiful, even with the 4C hair, like Doja Cat, even with the bigger nose and bigger lips. You still saw yourself as beautiful and you were able to continue to social climb to the point of fame and success and notoriety. And you embraced those things. You didn't feel the need to get surgeries to like get rid of those features. And I've noticed that if you have the same features as unambiguous black women and the only difference is your light skin tone, then people will try to project onto you and say, you just got to where you are because of your light skin, or they'll try to make it like you're not that pretty. I've noticed that whenever an unambiguous black woman wants you to feel inferior, she will use your black features against you. Even like the Mademoiselle, when she was talking about Sydney Black, she literally said that there was nothing special about her other than her blue eyes.
Oh, but bitch, you got blue eyes. You got a motherfucking advantage. But other than that, I see absolutely nothing special about her to make her, like, have 700,000 subscribers. So I'm very sure her blue eyes is something that really appealed to people, and that's what got her to where she was.
So she herself admitted out of her own mouth that Sydney's blackness and that her dark skin tone and her broader features, that those things were not special. And so I've noticed that they use this same projection with mixed or light-skinned women who have African facial features or they have 4C hair textures. They will try to use those things against that person to make them feel like they're not special or they're not that pretty. But we're not going to tolerate it over here. Just because someone else has an inferiority complex about their own features doesn't mean that we have to have the same inferiority complexes. And one thing that I've noticed is that if you love yourself and let's say you do have those same features as someone else, they don't want to admit to themselves that they allowed their facial features to hold them back. That would just be too triggering. So instead, they would rather try to put you down and project those insecurities onto you by saying, well, you're not light-skinned enough, or you're not that light-skinned, or you're not that pretty to be talking that much shit. And it's like whenever they say these women are ugly, like Ice Spice or like Tiny, T.I.'s wife, or like Hazel E, my question is, what's ugly about them? Like, what features are ugly? When people say Rihanna is ugly, what features of Rihanna's are ugly? Eyes, nose, lips, skin tone? And what a lot of women won't admit is that it's just your skin tone. They just don't like you because you have a lighter skin tone than them. And by the way, while we're on the topic of colorism, let's talk about the original definition of the term colorism because this channel does not center whiteness. So, for all of the black women empowerment channels that believe that colorism is only if you are dark skinned, those women are saying that because they are centering the white dictionary, the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which does not have all of the context that we need all of the time to explain what's happening in our own communities. So I actually use Alice Walker's definition of colorism on this channel. So if you want to argue with me about my definition of colorism, you can argue with Alice Walker, who is a Pulitzer Prize winner, and she defined the term colorism to mean prejudicial or preferential treatment of same race people based solely on their color. She didn't say anything about, oh, only dark skinned people, or, dark skinned people have it the worst, or if you're dark skinned, you're just fucked and you're at the bottom of society. She didn't say any of that. So here on this channel, we use Alice Walker's definition of colorism. And I've noticed that what a lot of women won't admit is that deep down inside, they just don't like you because you are lighter than them. And they associate your lighter skin tone or your racial ambiguity with having more privilege than them. And so because of that, they're going to do everything in their power to make you feel inferior or to make you feel like you're not special because they assume that you think you're special because of your skin tone. And the reason they're saying that is because they don't see any other features about you that are different than their own. And they think that their own features are not cute. They think that their own features aren't special. And so that's why they will shame you if you think you're cute and you think you're special. But anyway, has this ever happened to you guys? What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comments section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.